That's what we're getting.
That was for them. The audience here, yeah, you already knew. You know what I'm saying? So again, another thing that's not true. I didn't make fucking 20 videos.
And explained it so many times on live stream. Why do you feel the need to do it again?
Why is this the first time you're covering it? I talked about it in live streams. You're saying the same thing I said. Live streams is not a video.
Oh my God. Who cares?
No one's going, hey, where's the chat? We all know. We all know.
Simply just didn't archive it or whatever. I know I owe a lot of people an explanation with that, and I wanted to make sure that everything was settled first and the drama was subsided, which it is. As a matter of fact, Jay and I are friends again.
Oh my God.
What you're doing is relitigating the drama. You're bringing the drama back up again.
Okay, how is he wrong? How is Ashton wrong?
You're trying to paint it in that light. I've made videos afterwards. No one's
It's apparent to anybody. Oh my God. Okay. Okay.
You're just turning it into that so you have a clip that you can make that's an hour long. That's what it is.
And by the way, you and Jay are not friends. Like, Jay snaked you on the locale live shit.
Which is true.
For months.
He DM'd me.
Yep.
About
like,
it.
I don't even know what to say. Like, the reality is you guys are forced to work together because no one cares about you guys on your own. It's true.
What are you talking about?
It's true.
We're forced to work together.
Yes.
Yes. Do you have any rebuttal? Are you going to pretend Jay didn't say locale
nice name, though. I'm not even going to waste my time.
Right, because you have no answer. You have no answer. The guy is in my DM saying he's snaking you, Richard. Like, he literally came to us and said he's snaking.
Yeah, my streams are complete failure.
Jay only gets 100 viewers on his own. Okay, Rich? You get like a couple hundred viewers. You guys are not shit of anything.
Yeah, Rich walks into the room thinking he's the biggest motherfucker, which weight-wise, yes, but he thinks he's like the most popular dude on the internet. Like, everyone else is like, you know, paling in comparison to the massive audience of Rich's Basement or whatever the fuck his channel's called. I don't fucking know, but yeah, it's like, you would think this guy is like the most popular YouTube live streamer to ever fucking walk the face of the earth. And it's like, no. Bro, like, you're not really that big of a deal. You deleted your only claim to fame, and now you're just like... everybody else.
Oh my God.
Oh. And so therefore you have to watch while we work together even though you hate each other.
Like nothing ever happened. So I'm like, you know what?
Yeah,
it's April.
No.
This isn't an April Fool's joke.
Nothing happened. You lost it. All your fans lost your main channel. You're on locale live.
Remember all the debates that they had back and forth where they were shitting on each other and saying that I was never your friend.
Like,
and
even
you know,
wrong.
Rich's pic got leaked and it was confirmed to be super tiny.
Right?
You know, like there was a lot of stuff that happened.
Oh, I meant the Jay thing. You and Jay battled it out. Shut the fuck up.
Becky went on locale live and exposed you as being 13 years a simp that never got a crumb of pussy.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna pretend, oh yeah, nothing happened the last year and a half. Oh, stop. We all know differently. Even your own audience knows differently, man.
But this is why they cut off and just keep talking, because they're trying to take what I'm saying and push it in another
I didn't even edit that video, RTU.
direction.
I mean, listen, it's called providing commentary on the clip.
Yeah.
So yes, I am trying to push a narrative. I'm trying to push the way I view it. You see, I have a view on the clip. I have an opinion, okay? And I'm giving that opinion. And I'm trying to be persuasive in that opinion. It's just delusional. Like, what the f are you talking about, man? Nobody else does that, apparently?
You have the lowest amount of viewership you've ever had in your life. True. Nothing happened, though.
He was humiliated.
Go, answer.
His micro penis was disseminated on the internet. A tape of him
True, Andy. True, PvP.
jerking his tiny little Masucci micro.
True.
Which he then admitted that he had a micro penis.
Yeah, why are you laughing? That's
I mean, you
true.
did. He's like, well, it was just a joke. But
People
I mean, everyone
saw the video, dude.
And then he literally did say it was tiny. He said it was a micro
It's 2 inches max. Hard.
Dude, I'm talking about, dude, yeah, you know what's funny?
What's funny?
I'll say this. That bitch still tries to be friendly with me.
Okay, so we were right. It's true. The girl did leak it. It's micro. And you do have the lowest viewership you've ever had in years. Yeah.
Right.
Which I know why, because if I actually wanted to go after her for revenge, I could.
I thought we lied about everything.
Do it then.
Yeah, do it.
I'm not going to waste my time, person, but I'll say this. Stop trying to like my stuff. Don't message me anymore. I want nothing to do with you. You admitted that you f***ed up.
What you can do about it?
Take her ass to court.
He like embarrassingly threatened to sue Keemstar.
James winning.
And then backed down and became Keem's slave.
Yeah.
And sent Keem his play button, which he never got back.
True.
I gotta ask, why is he playing this? Because he can't rebut anything. It's just L after L after L, and it's so rapid fire. It's so much quicker than what he can say. It's so much funnier than what he can say. Yeah. I don't know what he's thinking.
Pause with that. Now, here's what happened with the whole thing with suing Keemstar. As soon as I said defamation, no one ever picked up my call.
Right, because it was frivolous. And
so what was I going to do?
What do you mean?
Okay, buddy, who's going to pick up your call? Like, what are you talking about? Did you even call a lawyer? Like, this is the sort of guy that won't fucking do anything for himself. Like, this is the sort of guy who his mom still sets his appointments for him and all this shit. He didn't call any lawyers. And if he did call a defamation specialist, they're not going to hang up on him. They're like, do you have money? Now, maybe he said, I have no money. Will you represent me pro bono against a multimillionaire? You know, who has a lawyer on retainer? And then they hung up on him. But, like, who do you think you're fooling? Like, it's like, are you trying to fool children who have no idea how anything works? You have no money is why they hung up. He's been outed 6 ways to Sunday. Like, what is he talking about?
Batchick Thriller has a theory here saying he's literally bringing this up again for attention, and particularly from you two. That's why, because no one gives a fuck about him anymore.
He's just clout chasing.
I would doing that. Attention from YouTube. What would you?
I said you two, as in me and Ash. He's so dumb. I like enunciated pretty clearly from you, bringing up for attention from YouTube. YouTube? Why would that make? Come on, listen.
YouTube do. They're like, oh, your channel's gone. That sucks.
It's just talking to it like.
What's funny too, I could show this thing called numbers.
Oh, can you?
How many subs have I gained over like the past week?
How many?
2.7.
What? What?
3
Not a
subs.
belt alert, 3 subs. Okay.
It wasn't
He gained
2.7K.
So his argument is that he's irrelevant.
Yeah.
So he's actually agreeing with what our true point was, which is that he's clout chasing because he's desperate.
Yeah.
But he's just obtuse.
He's losing subs and gaining them, but in the end, he gets 2.7 a week.
I think that's wild. I'm not gonna lie.
That's actually nuts.
That's weird. Thought no one gave a shit. Why would they resub?
What? I think though, Rich. If that's was it 2.7 thousand?
No, it wasn't. It clearly wasn't. He loses subs still, almost daily.
What an idiot. If
That's
you've gone
true.
to the point where you're clout chasing Kino Casino, maybe it's time to apply for a job, Richard.
Yep.
Maybe it's time.
Cloud chasing you. I promise a year from now, I'm going to wipe my asses with both of you.
No, you're not, Rich.
That's not
Rich, you said the same thing last year, and you said the same thing a year before with Jay. Like, you say this stuff, and then it never comes to pass, dude.
What is he talking about? We're growing so fast right now, and he's getting 2.7. We keep getting 100 subs a day on YouTube. You gain 2 a week.
I love how he has plural asses because he's so fat. He has 2 asses.
I hope they hear this too. I'm sure they will.
Yes, here, we're here.
Will you be here though, Rich, to respond?
You
to
want to do
one?
this for theatrics? I could do the same thing too.
Here's a mob boss.
You have no showmanship, Rich. You have no theatric skills. You are boring. Fill out the application, get yourself a consistent 40-hour-a-week job, and stream on weekends. Because at this point, this is a hobby, Richard. It's not a real career.
Ash, what the fuck on the bottom left of the screen?
Truth. He knows that's true.
Yeah, I do terrible on these
You
streams.
do. You actually do.
Yeah.
Listening audience.
I appreciate the support. I don't want you guys to take it the wrong way, but I do very well on these streams.
How would,
Evil
how, would,
blaster
how, would
for
be that, how would that be someone taking it the wrong way?
$10.
Wow.
Sometimes I hope that I one day wake up as Review Tech's daughter so that I never have to look at him again.
Shiva Blaster.
Bruh. Damn, that was pretty good.
Used to be here.
He
And here they
didn't
go.
respond to that. He just had to take it like a bitch.
Shiva Blaster with what are they all? Oh, man.
Whoa, buddy!
That's insane.
Not really doing any editing, even if I stutter or screw. Again, with the low-hanging fruit stuff. Grew up, so
Are you kidding? What you just said?
I know.
If Rich actually cared about his children, he would have done everything he could to make his original channel work. He was making bank on that. Dude, that's the thing. Is like, there are so many parents out there that work, like, multiple jobs they can't fucking stand. Like, literal back-breaking shit in order to provide for their kids. Here you have Rich, like, saying, oh, I just didn't want to talk about gaming news anymore, guys, so I'm just gonna delete my entire livelihood. I need to be passionate about what it's just so out of touch, man. These fucking YouTubers think they need to be super ultra passionate about every single fucking thing in their life, and it's not the case.
Oh, this needed to happen.
All Rich has ever had is low-hanging fruit. Shitty gay
He
jokes,
doesn't eat,
shitty art jokes.
he doesn't eat
bad
fruit.
humor.
Look at him.
Exactly. And
You're right, though. Yeah, it's all lowbrow. Like, shut the f up, Rich.
times. But you're not going to edit it if you stutter or screw up, but you've just done a take of this 10 times.
Ashton has a ring camera in my bedroom, in my office, and bedroom, baby. He
You
knows.
started the video saying it's your 10th time.
Yeah, he said at the very beginning of the video it was the 10th time. So,
Goldfish memory.
I'm just taking you at your word. Like, how stoned are you, Richard?
Holy Oh my, he's such a fucking
You know what? Shiva Blaster used to be a viewer here, and I think I ended up blocking them, so they're butthurt. So again, they go to the low-hanging fruit.
So, go ahead.
Okay?
Daughter's blind, okay? Thoughts?
And I think now is the time. So, all right, let's go. Let's see, man. 5 minutes for members. Can we hit the
Just
goal?
not even close, not even close.
But let's see. It's happened before. Last call. Appreciate the
Please,
support.
Pussy Boots,
You still got a
please.
ton, and I thank you all for it. For those of you who don't know me, I used to have...
Okay, listen, if you're watching on this on the f***ing RTU streams channel, right? You 125% no.
Do I know which video the comment was on? Like, Rich, I used to watch your stuff. I wonder where the f you went. What the
No,
hell
Rich, respond to me. Respond to me.
happened? I didn't realize you're still streaming.
Respond to what I just said.
That's the point. We also talked about current events
respond
and
to
drama
whatever.
and things like that. It was a mess of a channel, but somehow I got to 1 million subs on it. Yeah, that's it. The channel was... Do you realize... Like, let's... What is...
Listen,
I mean, it shows actually how
Okay,
that video is on. Like, yeah, okay.
I'm gonna be real. He just repeats. I swear
There's
the
no,
channel
is there
sucks.
any point?
He goes,
All
I
right,
swear the
let's-
channel sucks.
Scuba Steve and Shiva Blaster, speaking of which, just give us up.
Mud depression, yeah. Mud depression. It's just dumb, man. I don't know. Rich threw it all away for absolutely fucking nothing. Like, he literally got nothing. Like, he lost his editor. who took a huge amount of his big donators away from him. He lost an easy source of multiple fucking thousands and thousands of dollars per month with very minimal effort, where he didn't even have to research topics or anything. He just literally had to read a news article into a camera, send the file over to someone else who did all the editing, all the research, all the fucking thumbnails and metadata and everything else. Like, for what? Because my depression, my passion, and I don't want to talk about gaming anymore. Then proceeds to go back to creating Nintendo Switch 2 videos on his YouTube channel. It's just like crazy, man. Absolutely fucking crazy.
Oh,
It is what it is, bro. Rich's channel was not dead in the algorithm. The only reason it wasn't getting views is because he stopped uploading for like 3 months. So yeah, you have to have like a regular upload cadence in order to get regular views. So if he would have just kept uploading on it, he'd be fine. He lost the plot at this point. Yeah, it's just... When you make YouTube your job, you have to treat it like your job. It no longer becomes your passion. It becomes your job. So don't make YouTube your job if you don't want to work. Simple as that, man. Flash Gordon rocks to watch Nathaniel Brandy. Okay, give me a second. Let's see what this is. Or Bandy.
This video is brought to you by Squarespace. For 8 years, Nintendo has been on the top with their well-priced Switch, great and consistent game releases, and a reputation that most game companies dream of. But ever since the Switch 2 Direct happened, things have taken a turn for the worst. A $450 Switch 2, Mario Kart World priced at $80, horrible communication across the board, confusing Switch 2 edition deals, overpriced accessories, $10 for a game that should be a pack-in. Did a new Nintendo take over? No. This is the usual. Nintendo's just recently sold us a $100 alarm clock, $70 for cardboard, and
Bro, it looks like he needs to take a shower.
dropped game vouchers and gold coins for seemingly no reason. This has been a weird time for someone like myself, and I'm not used to seeing so many people complain about game prices coming from Nintendo. And I can sympathize with the frustration. The economy is in rough shape right now, and I don't see a lot of people that I know even personally that'll be getting one. But now that some time has passed, I wanted to sit down and really try to analyze if the Switch 2 is actually going to flop, or if the internet's just been overreacting. Before going into this, I just want to say that I will only be talking about US game prices. I know that the Switch 2 and its games are different in other countries, but I'm not from those places, and I don't know the average income anywhere else besides here, so I won't be talking about them. The $80 price tag has been talked about to death at this point, but it really makes a bold statement. Nintendo is willing to sacrifice the quantity of game sales and squeeze more money out of each person that buys the game. You know Nintendo was nervous and insecure about doing this because they didn't bring up the price in the Direct, whereas typically they would be confident and share everything with us. But at the same time, hasn't Nintendo and most AAA game studios already been charging over 60 to 70 bucks a game? Let's just be real here. If you're watching or listening to this video, odds are you've already paid over 80 bucks for at least a couple Switch 1 games and didn't think twice about it. Let's look at a game like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It costs 60 bucks, which is an insane value for how much is included. But it also offers a fighter pass for 25 bucks. Then there's a second fighter's pass for 30 bucks. And if you get all that DLC, our new total for the game is $115. But there's also the Mii
Yup, exactly.
costumes, which seem cheap at 75 cents each. However, there's 52 bundles, and if you were to get them all, it would cost $39. So really, for the full package, Smash Bros. Ultimate cost us $154. Or how about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, another game priced at 60. Except, wait, the Booster Course Pass costs $25, so that full title is actually 85 bucks, which is very close to how much Mario Kart World is. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This one also has an expansion pass for 20 bucks that includes 2 different DLC packs, which raises the total to $80. Splatoon 2 has the Octo expansion for 20 bucks, which makes that game total price 80. Then Splatoon 3 offers the Inkopolis and Side Order DLC for 25 bucks, making this game $85. Animal Crossing New Horizon also has a Happy Home Paradise expansion for 25 bucks, which makes that game 85. Pokemon Sword and Shield each have their own expansion pass for 30 bucks, which raises the price of both games from 60 to 90. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero DLC for 35 bucks. So for both games, it goes from 60 to 95. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker adds in a special episode pack for 6 bucks, making the full game 66. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has the expansion pass for 30 bucks, driving the total to 90. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 also has an expansion pass for 30 bucks, making it another $90 game. And I think you get my point by now. Now, obviously, not everyone is buying this stuff, but I think it's important to point out that we've already shown Nintendo that we are willing to dish out 80 to 90 bucks per game.
And that's not even to mention your Call of Duties, the amount people spend on Fortnite, you know, deluxe editions, premium editions, you name it. So, this is like not even the tip of the iceberg.
game. And of course, there's a difference between paying extra for DLC and paying $80 for just the base game, but that's not really the point. The matter of the fact is, we've shown Nintendo that we're willing to dish out $80 to $90 for just one game, and Nintendo is simply taking advantage. It just hasn't been as in our face until now. And look, I'm not justifying the $80 price tag. I'm just saying that a lot of us are already paying these high prices, but just in the form of multiple payments. Now, of course, some of these DLC packs are already included for free in Nintendo Switch Online's expansion, but it's not free. You are actively paying a subscription for DLC that you won't own if you stop paying the subscription. So is it really a deal at the end of the day? You know, it's kind of funny, because I remember when Nintendo first introduced DLC to their games in the 2010s, and people were outraged, just like they are with $80 games. But now, people beg Nintendo for DLC. I can't tell you how many people, including myself, that want Nintendo to release DLC packs for games like Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Tears of the Kingdom, and Mario Odyssey. Like I said, we could not possibly be incentivizing them more to raise the prices. We've been trained to want DLC, and we might soon be trained to buy $80 games. And now that we've seen...
Yeah, and the thing is, this is what I've always said too, is if they offer free content updates for Mario Kart World instead of charging money for like a DLC pack, I think that's a perfectly fine like middle point, you know? Like if they charge more for their games but then offer free content updates, I think that's fine. I don't have any issue with that.
Seeing the Mario Kart World Direct, we have a pretty good idea of all the content that's included in the game. I'm personally super excited to play it, but it also doesn't do anything new and revolutionary in the racing sphere, so I can see a lot of people waiting to buy this one or just not getting it at all. This decision is just pure greed on Nintendo's part. The Switch 2 Welcome Tour game is not worth $10. It's not even worth $5. There's no reason they could...
Who the fuck is he actually gonna pay money for this?
Couldn't have packaged this in with the Switch. I got to play a little bit of this game at the Switch 2 event that I went to earlier this month, and yep, it's a tutorial all right. When the Switch 2 comes out, I'm gonna check out the entire thing and see what it all has to offer, but it really should have just been free from the get-go. The funniest part about this game is that Reggie has tweeted out a snippet about packing in Wii Sports, essentially roasting Nintendo for not including Welcome Tour as a pack-in game. If you have the Reginator on your bad side, you f***ed up. Even the PS5 at its exuberant cost includes Astro's Playroom, an actual proper game that takes a few hours to beat. Out of everything that we've talked about price-wise, the accessories are an extra painful cost that I'm not seeing a lot of people go over. And they got even more expensive recently because of the unpredictable market that's currently happening. Or Nintendo's just taking advantage that it doesn't actually matter to them. I imagine a lot of these extra things aren't going to be purchased because of the upfront cost that already exists for the Switch in just a couple of games. For one, we've got the Switch 2 Pro controller at $85. It's only $15 more than the Switch 1 controller, so it's not the most egregious price increase. But then we've got the Joy-Con 2 controllers at $95. We're going to have to hope the Joy-Con drift doesn't exist because replacing these for $95 is insane for just a controller. The craziest cost, however, is the Switch 2 dock at $120. Switch 1 docks were already ridiculous at $90, but now it's over $100. Why would anyone get a second or third one? It's just for the sake of convenience. I can't imagine these standalone docks are going to sell that well. I have a few Switch 1 docks in random places around my house, and I bought these things slowly because of how spendy they are. I don't see myself getting more than maybe one extra dock. The cost is just absurd. Again, the point of the Switch 2 is to be more premium, and it definitely is, but these prices are probably not going to end up selling a lot of units. Honestly, I don't think this price is that unreasonable, especially considering how powerful the Switch 2 truly is. I think what's really surprising about all this is that Nintendo is known as the value brand. People don't expect top-of-the-line graphics from Nintendo, and yet they decided to focus on that for the Switch 2. What I find so interesting about this approach is that this is literally exactly what everyone was asking for. Yeah, for the past 2 or 3 years.
Yep, exactly. Everyone wanted the Switch Pro, which was the more powerful Nintendo Switch. Now all of a sudden nobody wants it. Interesting.
Everyone was
Or they actually do, they just want their updates on Reddit.
Nintendo, please don't make a gimmicky console, just make the Switch again, but more powerful. And by God, they did it. They actually listened and did it. But them doing that comes at a cost. And I think it's a cost that its fans weren't ready for. 4K output with HDR and 120 FPS on the tablet isn't cheap to produce. But real quick, let's talk about today's sponsor, Squarespace. This is the best and most but Nintendo made it /Nathaniel to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. The link is in the description. It's kind of amazing how much Nintendo has tripped over their messaging just trying to talk about Switch 2 Edition games. You would think it'd be simple, but Nintendo made it really confusing and shared tiny pieces of information as the following weeks have gone by. The best way to boil it down is the cost for each upgrade is split into 3 tiers. A Switch 2 Edition game is either free, $10, or $20. The free games will get upgrades on performance and might add extra features like Game Share. These include ARMS, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario 3D World, Clubhouse Games, Link's Awakening, Echoes of Wisdom, Game Builder Garage, New Suit U Deluxe, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and Big Brain Academy. I'm glad that a nice chunk of first-party games are getting these updates to begin with, especially Scarlet and Violet since that one runs so badly. And I imagine more are on the way too, as I'd like to see Age of Calamity and the Xenoblade titles get these performance updates as a couple examples.
Yeah.
But then we get to the $10 upgrades, or the ones that come included with the Switch Online expansion pack. What's been confirmed is Breath of the...
Yeah, I hope Xenoblade actually does get the Switch 2 ports.
Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. The graphics are improved, and you also get to use this new Zelda Notes app, which has a large variety of features. While this is neat and is also free of charge, I don't really know if this warrants the extra $10. As for the app, do people really want to go back and forth between using their phone as a GPS and playing the game? That just doesn't sound that fun if you ask me. They also added the option to share items and auto-build, which is cool, but why wasn't this just built into the game itself? What's insane, though, is that the Switch 2 edition of Breath of the Wild doesn't come with the DLC, which means that if you don't own the game and want the DLC, you would be paying $90 for the entire game. Now, I'm sure most people outraged by this already have the DLC, but even still, this is just me. We all know deep down that Nintendo is just a corporation like the others, and they don't actually care about us, but can you not throw us at least this bone? Like, really? Pretty much every video game that's ever had DLC that gets a re-release includes the DLC. It's crazy they aren't doing that with a game that's this old. This is setting a really bad example for everyone else, by the way. Oh, I can't wait for other AAA studios to start doing this to rip off their customers more. Just wait until the Smash Bros. Ultimate Switch 2 edition comes out, and that doesn't have the DLC. that's gonna be one heck of a shit show. And we don't even know how much Pokemon Legends EA and Metroid Prime 4 will cost, but they'll likely be $10 as well. Metroid Prime 4 adds mouse support and different display options, which I guess I can understand the reasoning to pay extra for that. Pokemon, on the other hand, doesn't make much sense to me. On their site, it says we get improved performance with higher frame rate and resolution. Okay, why isn't this a free upgrade with the other games? Oh, wait, because it's Pokemon and it will sell well no matter what. Got it, that's just wonderful. But then we have the $20 upgrades, and honestly, I think these are priced fine. We've got Super Mario Party Jamboree and Kirby in the Forgotten Land with brand new content on top of improved visuals. Jamboree adds in a bunch of new mini-games and uses the Switch 2 camera, and also adds a couple extra modes with the mouse controls and microphone. It's nothing too crazy, but it's a lot of extra effort for what it's worth. Then Kirby in the Forgotten Land has a new story mode. So out of all these games, I think these two games warrant the extra price tag out of them all. I won't have much to say about this, but the C button is one of the most underwhelming features that the Switch 2 has. It is literally just voice chat with super laggy game share and face cam capabilities. I still can't get over how this looks exactly like Discord when you're screen sharing with someone else. I mean, they even copy the green border when someone is talking. This will be a fine enough addition to the console, but it's gonna cost money. That's right, starting in March of 2026, you will only be able to use the voice chat if you pay for the Switch Online membership. While I'm sure a lot of people already pay for it and won't think twice, that means the C button is a paid button. This is stupid as shit. Forcing people to pay for voice chat has completely killed your opportunity for people using it for most of the Switch 2's life. People will just continue to use Discord to communicate because it's free. This is such a huge misstep that it's just baffling. Amiibo originally released at $12.99, which was a sweet price for how small these figures were. A few years later, they got a price increase to $15.99 outside of a few exceptions, and it stayed that way for a while, at least until now, because Nintendo's newest lineup of Amiibo are $29.99, with the Street Fighter ones being $39.99.
Yeah, that's because of the 150% Chinese tariffs.
I'm a guy that owned every single physical Amiibo, and I'm not buying these. I mean, my god, talk about a ripoff for figures that aren't even that high in quality. You might as well get a larger figurine for about the same cost. I can't believe I'm going to actually talk about the economy, but this will be the one and only time that I will do so. Look, if you're an adult right now, you already know how hard it is to just get by these days. A large majority of people that want to buy the Switch 2 won't, simply because of the cost. For decades, Nintendo has been the value brand of video games. People like to buy Nintendo games because they're good deals. As far back as the Nintendo 64, Nintendo has been offering ways to purchase their games for a cheaper price. While the Super Nintendo introduced the Player's Choice moniker, the Nintendo 64 started to lower the cost of their games when labeled as such. N64 games cost around $60.
Yeah, but they also lowered the price of their games because they weren't selling well. The N64 and the GameCube and Wii were having trouble selling games in particular. Same with the Wii U. So that's when they really started doing the value pricing on their games, is because, you know, the consoles weren't selling very well.
$50 at the time, but the Player's Choice version was $40. The GameCube had the same thing, with the original games being $29.99 and Player's Choice $19.99. The Game Boy Advance also did this. The original games were sold around $30 to $40, while the Player's Choice versions were $20. This was rebranded to Nintendo Selects during the Wii era, with certain Wii games going from $49.99 to $19.99. The 3DS also got the Nintendo Select treatment, with games going from $39.99 to $19.99. For 3 decades, Nintendo has been doing this with their games. But you know what we haven't seen from the Nintendo Switch yet? Nintendo Selects. And guess what? It's not happening this time. And here's why. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has sold 67 million copies, Animal Crossing 47 million, Smash Bros. Ultimate 35 million, Breath of the Wild 32 million, Super Mario Odyssey 29 million, Pokemon Sword and Shield 26 million. I could go on for ages. Nintendo has never been successful with software sales. Why would they lower the price? That's just wasting money to them. If people are still buying the games in droves, might as well keep the value of the games up, right? Well, things are a bit different from the Switch 1 era to now. First off, the concept of the Switch was and still is genius. That alone sold millions of people. But the games and consoles were also more affordable. The economy was not as unstable as it is right now. And I don't want to hear people say that the Switch 2's cost now matches with inflation and it's fair. Sure, the cost of the console matches, but you know what isn't matching? The average American salary. The median household income as of 2025 ranges a lot, but the majority of people are making around $75,000 to $80,000 a year. That equates to
You thought Nintendo loved us? Well, you thought wrong, bro. You thought wrong.
around $6,200 to $7,300 per month. Sounds like enough money to buy a Switch 2, right? Well, we do have to pay to live somewhere, so let's talk about that briefly.
Your
If you want to buy a
parents
house,
don't
the
even
average price
love
is
you.
currently around $360,000 with a 6% interest rate. So let's say you bought a house on a 30-year loan for $300,000 at 6%, and your down payment was 10%. That would make your mortgage payment, including property tax, insurance, and HOA fees, to be around $2,100 a month. Let's go back to that average salary, and yeah, that mortgage payment alone chews up a massive chunk of money, and that's before paying for food and all the other bills we've got. But what about renting? Well, that's currently around $1,600 to $1,700 a month. So while it is cheaper, it's still spendy, and you don't build equity. Now, obviously, everyone has different income levels, and every state is going to have different prices in terms of how much things cost. The point, however, is that living in America currently isn't cheap in a lot of places, and people will skip out on entertainment. I'm not going to talk about the tariffs, as that's currently a huge toss-up, and nobody knows how that's going down, but that could raise the prices even more on a lot of different goods. I mean, it just happened with the Switch 2 accessories. With all this happening over the past few years, Nintendo has completely failed at reading the room, which is a big problem because America is one of their biggest markets. So, can Nintendo fix this? It's really hard to tell right now.
Yup. It can very easily be fixed, because prices can always be put down. They can't be raised. That's the thing.
But unfortunately, I don't see the Switch 2 being that big of a success. They completely flopped their first impression, and messing that up has set Nintendo on an uphill battle. They're gonna have to change something.
Yeah, but they flopped the first impression of the original Switch, too. Nobody wanted one.
Sure, the Switch 2 will probably sell out in its first year because of people like me, but what about after that? Is the random person 2 years from now really gonna walk into Walmart and spend $450 on a Switch 2 and then $80 on Mario Kart when so many people are already living paycheck to paycheck? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo eventually brings back Nintendo Selects because at this price point, I don't see these games selling that well. I can kind of understand the reasoning to keep your price up to hold the value of the IP, but a big reason people bought these games to begin with is because—
Yep, $300 for Zelda was what everybody said. Oh, it's the Wii U 2. You know, $300 for one game, blah, blah, like, yeah. Nobody wanted the original Switch until it came out, and then it sold out, and you couldn't get one for months.
Because they were $60. They were of value. That's Nintendo's reputation. And here they are, just slowly throwing it away. Look, I'm still really excited for the Switch 2, don't get me wrong. The games look incredible, and I'm going to be playing them regardless of the cost. But that's just me, and probably the people watching a video like this. It'll be very interesting to see how Nintendo is going to do in the Switch 2 generation, because they're taking a big risk by alienating a lot of their customer base. I should end things by saying, hey, if you're okay with the prices, then more power to you. Whether you're buying a Switch 2 or not, there's no right or wrong opinion here. Everyone has different preferences when it comes to their buying wants and power. And with that, thank you all for watching, and I'll be back very soon.
People paying $30 for Uber Eats. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. There's a lot of people that just don't, you know, have their financial priorities in place, or they're mad at something and taking it out on another thing. Like, thinking Nintendo is the sole reason for all their financial hardships is pretty ironic. Like, it's just, I don't fucking know. Yeah, it's like misplaced anger, if you ask me. Because if all the other issues in the world were fixed, then Nintendo Switch 2 being $450 and games being $80 or $70 wouldn't even fucking cross your mind. You wouldn't even fucking care. Griffin, did that tomboy ever own all the people calling her? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember the channel name. What was it? Can check real quick, I guess. I don't know. Griffin hates being watched eating alone. Is weird. Just and what? And the I have no idea what the fuck you're trying to say. Yeah, I wonder how long it's going to be until Nintendo does the Switch 2 Lite. Because I forgot if... I don't think the Switch 2 Lite came until like a year or two after the original Switch, right? When was that? Switch Lite release. Yeah, it came 2 years after. So yeah, I would assume they'll do a Switch Lite for the Switch 2 as well. So... Because I know those were a big success with kids. Because, you know, $200 handheld, who fucking cares what happens to it? But yeah, I saw kids with Switch Lites all the time. Switch Lites were, like, very, very common amongst kids. Dude, it doesn't matter if you think they're awful. They're for children. They're not meant for adults. The channel was Cult Classic Cage. Alright, we'll see what the, let's see real quick. How wealthy said person is. Let's see. Which video was it? Was it this one?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Cult Classic Kid Show. Today we're talking about Mario Kart World because, well, it continues to be some...
I think it was
Hey guys, welcome back to the Cult Classic Kid Show. And... It's failure. But if Nintendo doesn't want to listen, if Nintendo wants to be ignorant, fuck them. I hope the Switch 2 fails just like the fucking Wii U did. Yeah guys, with that being said, I'm out. Peace. Video, subscribe to the channel. Follow me over on Twitter at Mark. And a lot of people that just say, fuck it, I'm fine. Like, what kind of gaming experience when you...
Yeah, so... I think she said the next video, so this one.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Cult Classic Kid Show. Today we're talking about Mario Kart World because, well, it continues to... pretend that I don't. But yeah, I did play quite a bit. No. Beating it is definitely not gonna be $90. I think that is obvious. There's a lot more going on, baby. I got my boy Shadow in there. That's my guy. Yeah, like, subscribe.
I don't see anything that indicates that they're gonna
Hey guys, welcome back to the game where they
roast
want
the broke boys. Yeah, I don't see anything. Wowie zowie, dude. Here, let me flex 10 Nintendo Switch 2s real quick. Give me a second. Let's flex 10 Nintendo Switch 2s in honor of, you know, our wonderful outrage merchants. There we go. This is the equivalent of 10 Nintendo Switch 2s. Nintendo Switch 2s and one card. Yeah, it's at least worth $4,500. I don't know exactly what the price is. I know for a fact someone with the exact same card was offered $4,500 for theirs. They did not accept it, so theoretically I could sell mine for $4,500 right now. Yeah, but I'd rather have the card than the actual computer. That's the issue. Is I'd rather have the card than the computer. Bro, oh, this is... Okay, hold on. This is a two-parter. Give me 1 second. I gotta get this ready. This is a two-parter, man. That one, and I forgot I sent myself this stuff. I saw this on Twitter today. I thought it was pretty funny. Alright, so, first up we got, why does she sound like my drunk uncle? Melanie Mac has been banned from Twitch again. Ready? No audio? Oh God, this piece of fucking shit! Hold on. Duplicate. Alright, it should be good now. Let me delete the other one. Okay.
People want to pretend.
Is it good now? Are we good? I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this OBS shit.
And all these fake genders and stuff for attention, but nobody cares. Nobody actually likes it.
She does sound like she's drunk.
Surprise, nobody bought it.
Nobody
spend
bought
money
it.
on a
Nobody bought it. Like,
skin. I want my character to look cool. I want my character to look awesome. Want my character to look hot. Not pornographic when I say hot, but hot.
Yeah, with the fucking microscopic shorts on your life-size Lara Croft figure. Okay.
I ain't playing as some. Why would I pay money to play as a in a game? Why would I do that? You mean like they
Yeah, she does, dude. She does have the same speech pattern as PWR.
should be paying money to anybody who uses this skin. They should be like, please play this skin. We will give you money to play this. We really need to push this agenda, so please, we'll give you $5 to play as this. I don't even think people would do it for $5. People want to pretend all.
Dude, she does sound drunk. But anyway, this is the follow-up to it. This was captioned "Me when a woman starts talking," by the way.
I think it's.
so factual, man. So factual. It was like, hold on, let me see if I think the caption was like me when a woman starts talking, or my brain when a woman starts talking, but either way, it's 100% accurate, bro. I'd rather see this a million times than listen to Melanie Mac.
I think
More relaxing than yeah, exactly, dude. But yeah. That shit's funny as fuck, man. What triggers you is the mess? Why? You're not a woman, FBI. You don't have to clean it up. That's quite the picture, man. That is quite the picture. Yeah, she has that same, like, Midwestern Canadian accent. Only her voice is so ugly. Oh my god. And she doesn't have autism, so there's no... Well, maybe she does. I don't fucking know. But yeah, there's not even that. Oh, man. Of course, FBI knows how to cook and clean. Yeah, he's a bitch. Her makeup is having trouble hiding her old face now. I know. She's gonna have to continuously be more and more of a painted whore to maintain the illusion. Remember, Melanie Mac wants more trannies and gays. Yeah, dude, they're the backbone of the Tomb Raider community. I believe that lesbians might be a significant pillar, but the backbone of the Tomb Raider community is a bunch of horny teenage boys that jerked off to Lara Croft. It has nothing to do with fucking gays and trannies. Imagine she eventually becomes a VTuber to hide how old she looks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know, bro. The tattoos are just so gross to me. So gross. Ugh. Dude, it's already 6 o'clock. I probably should hop off. Probably should head off. Normal men never cook. That's right, dude. We only eat McDonald's. Unless you're eating McDonald's, you're not a real man. 24/7, 3 meals a day. That's it. But anyway, hope you'll have a great rest of your weekends. Appreciate y'all coming out. And I'll talk to everybody later. Peace out, guys.
Shit! No. Motherfucker. Oh, you son of a whore. damn it.